Hello and welcome to Green Building Bites, presented by Green Building Alliance. My name is Paige Kaleo, and today we'll be talking to Terry Kennedy, the Senior Director of Asset Management at Highwoods Properties. PPG Place number 2 is an all-electric building, and it's one that's been a part of GBA's Pittsburgh 2030 district program since the very beginning, and it's been making really impressive improvements in its energy performance.
My name is Terry Kennedy. I work for Highwoods Properties out of Raleigh, North Carolina, and I'm the Senior Director of Asset Management here in Pittsburgh.
Thanks, Terry. It's great to have you. Today we're talking about Two PPG Place, and the reason being is over the course of the past 10 years, as it's been a part of the 2030 district, it's been performing incredibly well. So we're here to kind of get some of the secrets from Terry and see what made the magic happen.
Highwoods purchased PPG Place, our first venture into Pittsburgh, back in 2011. And when we bought it, every time we buy an asset, we do a complete overview before the acquisition, where we look at all the mechanics. And we did a thorough review of all 6 buildings in this complex, and we determined some major changes needed to be made. The building at that time was 30 years old,
Okay.
and today it's 40 years old. And it just needed a complete refresh of all the mechanicals behind the walls. So we did that. One of the first things we did was we upgraded the elevators.
Okay.
Traction control, old control systems. We wanted to make it more efficient, less travel, and just make it work better.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the first things. Of course, most buildings nowadays, they're working with LED lights.
Yeah.
So we've done, everywhere we can, we try to put in the new high efficiency LED lights. If we're doing a remodel, new customers coming in, we're doing something with the common areas. Another thing would be, we put in a new chiller in this building.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not just the chiller, but the chiller was set up that it had a compatible air-cooled compressor.
Okay.
And what that allowed us to do was to take out the existing water cooling tower.
I see. Okay.
So that substantially reduced our water consumption in this building.
Yeah.
The other thing we did, which was kind of neat, we put in what I refer to as a heat wheel, but it's an energy reduction system. What it does is it picks up heat coming back from the system,
Okay.
from the return lines. Picks up heat. We're using that heat in a different air handling unit to preheat air being brought in from the outside was going to be circulated in the building, and we're really excited about that. The buildings were all pneumatic when we bought it, pneumatic controls.
Mm-hmm.
We've changed them all to digital.
Okay.
We're almost there, not quite. We still have a few pneumatics, so we're still running air compressors. The object is to get rid of those air compressors,
Okay.
which are energy hogs. And that's what we do. We look at things every time we have to replace something. Most of these things were planned when we bought the asset. The glycol is coming back through the system. The glycol treated water is coming back, and it's bringing heat back with it. Now that heat has to be dispersed. But the way I understand it, before it goes into the air-cooled compressor, it goes through that heat wheel.
Okay.
And that heat wheel pulls heat out of that solution,
Mm-hmm.
and then it transfers it over to a different air handling unit. That air handling unit is where the air that's coming in that's going to go into our air handling system. And what it's doing is allowing that air to pass over that wheel that's got heat in it.
Sure.
So now that's preheating the air so that we don't have to do anything different with it. It's not too cold. In the past, I think what we might have had heaters on it to try and heat
I
it up.
see.
So this just is a more natural way of heating it rather than using power and energy to try and heat that air that's coming in from the outside, especially during the shoulder months and the winter months. The chiller has its glycol solution, and then it passes through and it cools or heats.
Right.
Mostly cools the air that's coming through the system. But when it's coming out the other side, it's what it does is it sucks the heat out of the air. So it's got the heat in the system, and as it's passing through, it needs to disperse that heat.
Okay.
And that heat goes into that heat wheel, and then it gets transferred over to the other side of the system. To tell you the truth, we get ideas. A lot comes from the Green Building Alliance, attending your meetings and stuff like that. We got great idea, education, find out what's going on in legislation. The proof to us is when we see our energy numbers going down. And this building's been very, very good. I mean, we're very happy with what we're seeing in the reductions.